back to my titanium white, and then just in here I can put some titanium white just flushing over the top of them shadows. See that? Just in there. Just at the top there. And you can actually bring that along and down. Same in here. Put these little waterfalls in front, and there's areas where it crashes and comes back down again. Yeah, all sorts of little things going on in there. Now, just up in here, I'm just going to apply some white because I want it to be a bit whiter. For that, where it drops down there, straight through. Now there's going to be some sort of notice, a different shade just for the water, where the waterfall starts, just at the top, a little shadow. There, that's it. Great stuff. Now, I need to block in now, so using the same dark colour that I used before, which is in there, Van Dyke Brown, the dark lavender, or mauve, should I say, and then just in front here of this we have a big rock, a big boulder coming down. Just there, and this will have a really nice reflection for it eventually. Nice dark reflection. Now this is in front of the waterfalls. There's this right in front of them. Just underneath there we will have like a reflection for that, so I'll put a bit of dark in for a reflection underneath it. And now I'm trying to work out, we've got some trees coming down, and they actually come down from up here and they get quite a lot lighter, so by tapping them now they'll mix the liquid white and get lighter as we go down to there, and they come to more or less the water's edge, which is here. And then I'm going to tap a lot darker behind that. So this is like the water's edge again, just there. I just know that I want some good dark colour in that part. Maybe a bit of the burnt sienna with that as well. Give it a brown tinge. And then up in here we've got all these trees and bushes like we had over there. And the difference, I'm going to show a bit more of that water from there. Dark shadows in as well. See, I'm just allowing a little bit of that to show through, and then that actually wants to come right up with this good dark colour. What's that? Just in there. Good bit darker than what's behind. And then we'll come back and we can highlight these, all sorts of different tones and colours. The greens, some browns. And then very dark behind. Great. Now, where these cliffs are, there's like a reflection just there, isn't there? There's just a little reflection just going on in there. And that's where the water's edge is. But it's very misty. I'm just going to do it soft and subtle. See that? And then you can sort of like... Right, so just a little reflection of something going on in there. But I want it very, very light in this area. So even them little shadows, I want to take the majority of that out. Now just enough. Because, like I say, we're not really bothered. We're going to track and do what's behind. And then this is going to come right down in front of that. So this is all behind, down in a little valley basically. It's like over in here. Actually, pull that a bit further. Like so. And then we've got another strip just in here that is a bit lower than that. Comes out to about there. That. And we'll put a little beach on that, like a little bit of sand. I'll just sat on top of it. Just try to get these basic colours in first. And then we can come back and highlight the darks against the lights. All of that going on. Now I actually would like this tree to go quite a bit higher, so it needs to come up above that. On the edges I'm not really bothered at all because I'm going to put a masking tape on there, and when I pull that masking tape off we'll have a perfectly straight edge. You'll see anyhow. So I'm getting my contrast good now. Now I know I need some of this same colour down in here for reflections. See that? I'm just going to use this little fan brush first and pull some of this dark colour in there as a reflection. Very, very, very good and dark underneath this as well, this strip of land. This is just a shadow that's going to be in the water. Reflection for all of that we've got in there. And then I can use the fan brush and just pull down on that and pull a reflection for it. There as well. Then what I do, I use a clean brush and just go across gently. See that? Just gently go across it. Keep tapping it every time because you will pick up that colour from underneath. See them lovely little strips, just like little ripples and stuff that you've got going on in there. Tap that out, and I can just go over into this bit. Just for that bit there I did that. Great stuff. Now just so that I've got some semblance of contrast with this, I'm going to go into the dark black and mix it with that colour. It's just the black mixed with that colour. It's going to be very, very well highlighted is this, but it needs a good dark shadow, a very good dark shadow for it. Because what these are, it's like bushes and stuff like that, and then I can use a bit of burnt sienna, a bit of light colour as well. Just go into that light, click your white there and it'll pick it up. See that? All we've got is just a few little bushes and stuff going on. just in there. Right underneath this big tree that I'm going to put in. That sets that area back, creating layers, constant layers all the time. So I'm just going to use a palette knife, small edge of the knife. I'm just going to grab a bit of that colour. Now just up in here where these rocks are, I'm just going to gently just touch and allow a bit of that colour to actually touch that. Just a little bit here and there. Even down in there just a tiny bit. And you'll start to run out of colour. As soon as you start to run out of colour properly, what you do is you go back and allow it to mix slightly. See? With the colour that you've got on the underbase and the undercoat. And it'll just look like lots and lots of nice little things that's going on in there. Nice little bits of colour. You can see just a few little highlights. Not much though, because it's still quite dark in there. And that rock is right over that. You only just want them to stand out. You can put a few little bits on there. Now I'll go back, I'll use a big part of the knife, I'll just gently graze over that. It just looks like there's some little indications of stuff going on that rock. Same in there, just the flat of the knife. Right, so we've got his reflections in there. That's lovely, that's exactly what I wanted. But I just want to actually tap it so it's a bit misty. Just on that edge. There. There we go. So that's just for that. That's great. Now I want to start getting some darks in now. So it's going to be really important is this stage. Just going to use my fan brush. I'm going to use the black mixed in with this mauve colour, blue, crimson, everything in that, all the good dark colours. And I'm going to use that for the shadows. Now, a bit of Van Dyke brown as well. Now, in these areas, there's like a tree just there. So I'm going to put this dark around that, and it'll be the shadows for the other trees where it's a bit darker. Sometimes pull it straight, both sides, and then where the trees start, we've got a strip of beach in there. That's a little strip of beach. So you could just paint a bit of dark underneath that first, much like so, and then here and there just tap it behind it so it's darker. See that? And then that'll make it look like that beach area is a bit lighter in tone. And this is just the shadows. Tap into the shadows now above and put some darker tones in there, because it's really dark in there. If you do what I just did and get like there, I had this lovely area and then I went over it. You can just use a brush with a bit of white on it, and you can just pull a bit of that beach back in again, just into there, like so. And how we're going to do this anyway, because it gives lots of lovely little indications. So that's just a little beach that's sat in there. And then, like I say, dark behind. We've got a lighter tree just in there, which has got dark underneath it as well. leaving it lighter on the edges, so I can highlight that. And then I can even pull a darker shadow in for it as well, just in there. Just a little dark shadow underneath. That's good. Happy. So I might just have a little play in here with some of this, make little ripples and all kinds of little things going on in there, in the reflections. Now I do actually want to come off of this reflection a bit here, with a few little ripples, see, just like so. Then I'll use a clean brush and just gently go across that, just there. And that's a wonderful reflection now for that. And that bit of colour that you pick up and pull into it will look like lots of little ripples, but I wanted it very, very bright in there. What I might do is just pull a bit of this shadow colour now, just a little bit of it. See, right there, I'm using it, touching it into the liquid white so it gets lighter in tone, and then just in here I'm going to put some little ripples, because it's only from there that you're going to see just a few tiny little ripples. You won't see that much over there. Just a tiny little bit. The tiniest of little bits. Right. So just in there, I know I've got these bushes and stuff. Lots around there. Some nice bright spots on these soon. Right, so again with the dark colour, the black and all the good darks, I just want to go right in this edge in here and indicate a tree that's a bit closer to us. Also put some darks up into there. Right. Some of this as well, some of these trees are like you have them hanging over bushes and trees and all sorts of things, hanging over this cliff edge. Gravity's there, pushing them over the edge slightly. Lovely thing to see. Maybe ferns growing on here, trees that are growing over the edge and all sorts. Exact same thing up in here. I want to just do a tree that's just there on this rock. A little tree just growing on this rock. Plenty of water, abundance of water for it. Perfect little spot for it to be. And then just up in here, I'm going to just touch, have a tree on the top. Just in there, see that? I love doing these. Now, I'm going to switch to my fan brush again, and I'm going to get some cadmium yellow, and I'm going to get a bit of sap green. So it's cadmium yellow, sap green together. Now, I got my beaches mixed up. This part is the beach, this is like a bit of grass. So I'm just going to get a bit of that green colour and allow it to mix. It'll mix with the colour we've got underneath in there, and it'll give you a lovely green for this grassy area that's just at the side of the water, quite flattish. Now just in there I'm going to use a clean palette knife. I'm just going to run, touch the heel of the knife first there, and I'm going to run the knife through like so, all the way through, pretending that that tree is not even there. See, and now you've got a lovely little area where the water's coming flushing through. Even in there you can actually touch a bit of white and just make it look like there's a bit of water just rushing through there. So I love using the knife like this. I really do. Just makes the water look like it's actually rushing through a bit, even though it's just straight white. It's got a texture to it. And I can run a bit of that white also just through there. See that? And you can actually touch some of that white just that's there. Got a few little ripples into that. Just like so. See that? Great stuff. Really happy with how this paint is made so far. Right, so what I need to do is use a little tiny liner brush first. And what I will do, I will use some paint thinner. And with that paint there, I will just get some burnt sienna into that colour. I want the brush to be a really fine point, to a nice fine point. See that? And then just up in here, I want to actually put a few little sticks and twigs, you can see. And then just on top of that, little trunk for it, paint behind, it's sat on top of there, tiny little trunk for that. These little details will stand out, just need to take your time doing them. Now I just want to slightly alter that. Make it a bit just from there. So come with that white. Yeah, that's better. I'm happy with that. And then just in there with this knife, I can just touch it and rub that. It just look like a reflection for that. Just rub it and it'll mix with the liquid white. That's perfect.